The FNRad Snowboard podcast is presented by Vans. Hey listeners, FNRad has been hosting the Plug podcast for the last few weeks in an attempt to amplify black voices and raise money for Stoked.org, which is a great organization that brings underserved youth into the skateboard, snowboard, and surf communities around the United States. We've sold over 100 tickets to the fundraiser draw, and with our friends at Vans matching the first $2,000, that puts us at about $2,000. I'd like to get to 4,000, and I've reached out to our sponsors. You guys know Wired Snowboards has already donated a board, Tribute Board Shop threw in a hoodie, Crow's Nest Barbershops has pledged haircuts and an awesome gift pack, and past guest Jamie Lynn has donated an original piece of his paintings. It's called Beltane, and it's an awesome one. I'll post more about it this week, and I'm excited to announce that Anon Optics has joined in the raffle. We'll be announcing the details later this week, so if you want a chance to win some of the loot plus support an amazing cause, please send $10 to fnradpodcast@hotmail.com. No limit to the number of tickets you can buy. I've sent out about a third of the stickers from the last draw, so if you're waiting on your FNRad sticker, please send your address to me at fnradpodcast@hotmail.com so I can get them out to you. They come in black, white, blue, green, red, yellow, orange, and silver, so let me know in your email if you have a preference. I'm working on my sponsorship proposals for next season, and just looking at the numbers, it's unreal that we've got listeners in 98 countries around the world. Okay, that's so fucking rad to me, I can't even believe it. I can't wait to get started on season 6. I'm so excited for snow to fall, and it's only July. Okay. Time to hand it over to Russell. Thanks to Holden Outerwear and Offshore Shapes, which are a couple of Russell's sponsors. Aaron Drapolin created original artwork for the plug. And big thanks to you guys, the listeners. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Let's listen together.
This is Russell Winfield, and welcome to episode 4 of The Plug. This week, I'll be speaking with Utah's own Stevie Bell. Let me tell you something. Stevie is not scurrit. We're going to talk about everything from sponsorships to snowboarding to the current state of affairs. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hang on a second. Let me get. I'm gonna go outside and get situated.
Oh, okay. Get your lounge on, bro.
Yeah, we got a nice little patio out back. I'm gonna have to go post up on, dog.
Well, I just got done mowing my backyard. I still got my middle yard and my front yard to do.
Yeah, I knocked that shit out the other day, man. Not my favorite thing.
No.
Yeah.
Cool. So, how you living, man? How's life?
It's good, dude. I'm just chilling. I'm back in Utah, unfortunately. It's not my favorite place to be. But it's chill. It's home. We got family close. It's just nice to raise a baby here because it's a shitload cheaper in California.
Yeah. Okay. So you've been splitting your time, or you've been staying in the Utah?
No, we've been in Utah pretty much since last April. We moved back.
Okay. Well, you grew up pretty good in Utah. I mean, I'm sure you had struggles, and we'll talk a little bit about them. But you ended up solid, so that's not a bad spot.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I think Utah's a pretty mellow place, man. It's pretty toned down. It's quiet, I guess you could say.
Mhm. So, I watched a bit of your bombcast thing. I've been swamped, so I kind of been skimming through it. The bomb hole with
Grenier
Stone and Grenier, yeah, and that was funny, man. That was good work. How are you? How are you doing with all this stuff that's finally bubbling over? This Floyd stuff and Breonna Taylor, and now there's like all these dudes and women, black folks being hung again. Like, how are you doing with that, man?
I guess the best way I can. I always try to just focus on what I can control and influence and do my part. It's unfortunate that shit still like this is happening. I think that I hate to say it, but in a way, it's almost kind of like a good thing because now it's not a way keeping white people up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate that it comes at the stake of somebody's lives. It's crazy to see that, all this shit exists. And I think it comes from a top down approach from our the piece of shit dude that's is sitting in the president's seat right now.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see any of this shit with the previous president, but that's neither here or there. But it's crazy, man. It's just nuts, man. It's just, you gotta just protect yourself. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. It's unfortunate times, but I think that these times are gonna change, man. I know that I follow this guy that's representing some of those people you just mentioned is their lawyer. And he just had a seat in went to the White House and met, and now they got the federal judges or whatever coming down and actually start investigations. So a lot of these guys are going to get in trouble for the crimes.
Cool. Well, that's good. I mean, it's progress,
Slowly but surely.
Yeah. So you grew up like me and like a lot of the African American or black. I just call us black people, bro.
Yeah.
Grew up around a lot of white people. I mean, in order to be real proficient, well, back when I was growing up and even when you were growing up, to be real proficient at something like this, you wouldn't be exposed to it unless you grew up amongst a lot of white people, right? Like, there's no like ski buses coming from the hood yet, So
yeah,
and it's expensive. So what was your experience growing up in Utah? I mean, just give me like a broad stroke, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot, man.
Yeah, well, me, Uncle Russ. I'm not gonna call anybody out that I would have caught in person or in their face. Yeah. So
Preach.
If they did get called out, they would, I'll tell them, they could call me and I'll tell them the same thing.
Yes, sir.
But no, it was chill, man. I mean, I'll be honest, dude. It was kind of mellow. Like, really, what it is, man, is like if I knew now, or had the same mindset as I did when I was a kid, maybe it'd be different. And what I mean by that is, like, when you're a kid, you don't really know a lot of this shit. You know what I mean? It doesn't really. It's not on the forefront of your mind. You're too young and naive to really even understand what prejudice is or racism is. You know what I mean? You hear about it, but I mean, unless it happens to you, you don't really focus on it. You know what I mean? And I didn't really have to deal with a lot of it when I was growing up. Everybody was pretty cool, especially because, I had a brother, my little brother, Alex, is pretty close in age with me. He's like 2 years younger than me. We always grew up together. And, all the people around us were pretty cool, man. Like, we had some good people around us, and we were always better than everybody else in sports. So everybody wanted us around anyway.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I got that card.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I got that card.
You're like, oh, yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It wasn't really until I got to high school that I kind of experienced it. I was old enough to kind of understand what it was. But it was a small group of cowboys, man, and they were just hateful mostly because I was just beating their ass at the shit that they thought they were good at, their sports. They couldn't fuck with me, and I think that was really kind of it. But they didn't want none because I would have beat their ass too. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And I wasn't very big in school. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not big right now, but I was like short and skinny. I'm just short and stocky.
You were wiry, but you were fast.
Yeah, scrappy. Like, and I'm not a fighter, but I mean, I'll definitely will scrap with you if you say the wrong thing. And they said a few things, and I got in their face and let them know how it was going to go. They didn't want none, so I figured it was just talk. So I never even bothered me anymore.
Okay, it's interesting that you said that. Them dudes who was on you and they were athletes too and played sports, but you were better. So that opens up a whole nother thing. Like, do you think that a lot of this racism is going down because people are afraid of losing their place?
I do, in a sense. I think it is, but then again, I sometimes I ponder on myself about, like, the mindset of somebody who's racist. I kind of wonder, like, what makes somebody like that? Because if you put two kids, or if you put kids from every corner of the globe in a room, they won't have any idea of what skin color is. They're all gonna play together. They have no fucking idea. They don't care. It's only when we get older, so it's something it's a mindset that we're taught. And so sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, what makes somebody racist? And a lot of times what I think it is, I mean, if you look at a lot of the Nazis and a lot of these dudes, or that are a part of these gangs, but look at them. Like, they come from a lot of places where that might just be kind of the mindset that's been there for a couple decades. Yeah, hundreds of years. And a lot of them look like fucking a bunch of lowlives. So it's like they want to have something to belong to. And that's what's around to be belong to. Like kids want to be part of a football team, or they want to go play baseball, or they want to be part of this group or that group. I just kind of think it's kind of something that is dominant in that area, and it's just something to be a part of, because if they're not, then everybody's going to be against them, and it's kind of more like a fear factor, like kids join gangs in the hood, right?
Yeah.
The same thing. It's just something to be a part of. And I can guarantee you, a lot of these dudes don't really feel that way. They just feel like they have to play the part to get along.
Mm-hmm.
Because single one of them out and see if they talk that shit.
Yeah, they won't.
You know what I mean? Single them out and see if they talk that shit. Like, even the videos I see today, like all the bikers and shit, and they're you know what I mean, their Confederate flags and shit. It's like, dude, I've had plenty of opportunities where I've been alone, where I've seen people with Confederate flags, and they won't even fucking look at me or say nothing. So if you're really about that life, talk that shit. I dare you. You know what I mean? So it's like when they get around their gang or their, you know, group of people, then they're about that life, and they're like, oh, you know, then they start fucking, you know, pounding their chest. But it's like, bitch, you just want to be part of something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're ignorant. That's just what you were taught. And I don't blame you. I mean, I don't care, because that's, you know, maybe that's how your parents raised you, and whoever, you know, is a part of that, because your ignorance is makes you so fucking small and minute in this world. Like, what's that really going to get you?
Ain't gonna get you nowhere.
It's not gonna get you shit. I don't know very many, you know, rich Ku Klux Klan people. Maybe there are, but it's like, you know,
the dudes on the top are very few of them.
Yeah, there are a few of them, but they're, you know what I mean, they're starting to put their tail between their legs as well.
Yeah, crazy. So you ride dirt bikes too, right?
Used to. I've rode dirt bike in a little while, because
that's crazy sport.
I'm not really down to get hurt really as much as I used to be, man. I used to not care, but I like to waking up, and I'm sure you could, you know, test this, but doesn't it feel good to wake up and not fucking hurt in the morning?
I hurt every morning, but I got you by a few years. But don't worry, you'll be here. I mean, you get used to it. I mean, you hurt, but it's not like you're hurt. You know what I'm saying? You're just, I'm getting old, Stevie.
Yeah, well, I mean, that part of life, just getting old, that's just kind of part of it. But I mean, like, looking at some of the other homies that, you know, and friends that we grew up with, and, you know, shredded and all, and some of them were just like, there's bad knees, bad elbows, bad backs. And it's just like, it's crazy, man. It's like, I wake up and I'm so grateful that I feel like I'm 18 still.
Yeah.
So I stay off.
Yeah.
The gnarly shit as much as possible.
Yeah. But motorcycles are, you know, that's, you know, there's the Stewart, but that seems even less diverse and more country than snowboarding. Were you just out there riding tracks, or did you race? Like, how deep did you get into that sport?
Yeah, man, it's definitely not that. I mean, there's definitely more diversity in motocross now. I mean, they just might not be pro, but there's some amateur kids that are of color, and whatever if that's Mexican, Asian, black, whatever.
Yeah.
But my neighbor had a dirt bike when I was a young kid, man. And I used to see him rip that shit up and down the street, man. And a couple of my neighbors, and it was just like, man, that looks so fucking fun. I mean, oh my God. And then finally, I don't know how, I convinced my parents to get me one, and I got into it pretty heavy. And a lot of the kids that I grew up with already rode motocross and BMX. And part of that reason is because literally where we grew up, across the street from my grandma's house, was one of the biggest BMX tracks in Utah, Twin Peaks. Oh, and every Tuesday and Thursday they'd be races. So I mean, you could see it and hear it. So we'd always go over there and watch. So me and my brother got involved and started whooping ass there. And it was just kind of a natural thing to go into motocross.
Oh yeah.
And I got deep, man. I was racing. I had some sponsors, winning races. It was fun, man. That shit is. I rode all the way up until about like before I moved to California. I had a dirt bike.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, you can show up to a snowboard event, you ain't going to see a Confederate flag, bro. But there might be one at a moto event. You know what I'm saying? Like,
only when you like in certain places, though. Like California, you're not going to see one in California. You won't see one in. I mean, I highly doubt you'd see one in Utah or Arizona or anywhere like that.
Arizona, there might be one, bro. Arizona,
no, there might be. I know a lot of Latino homies, like my boy Jimmy. His son raced for a long time, and they actually own some tracks. And nah, man, he ain't about that life, and I can tell you that much. A Confederate flag showed up in his shit, Jimmy's taking that motherfucker away.
Yeah, cool.
And probably beating your ass.
Yeah, funny. So you have a kid, a daughter now?
Mm-hmm.
How old is the kid?
She's 9 months old, man.
That's crazy.
Tear all my shit apart.
Oh, you don't even know.
Pulling shit off shelves all day long. I just follow along and pick shit up all day. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. It's different than you go from screaming fans to a screaming baby. It's a fucking crazy life.
It's a whole different thing. They both want your attention, but one, you know, can't live without your attention.
Yeah, exactly. And it never ends, dude. It's crazy. But it's fun, though, man. You've been there.
Oh, yeah. I'm through it. I got my one daughter's 20 now, and the other one's 10. So
now they're just coming over to pick your pocketbook.
That's it. They don't even got to come over no more, bro. Apple Pay. It's the coldest thing in the world. You don't even get to see him. Dad.
Crazy.
Yeah, they're crazy, Mo. So let's talk a little bit about snowboarding and being the only. I mean, when I came up, I was black and everybody, you know, knew it. But because snowboarding was so new and still really not that like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'd go to the mountain and it was like, yeah, these fucking snowboarders. Oh, there's a black one. But at least I had some comfort in knowing, you know what I'm saying, that they didn't like everybody else around me too because they were snowboarding.
Yeah.
So for you, was there like some weird, like just showing up at places? There was, you know, a few times in my career where it was like I ran into some neo-Nazis, like one time in Montana and stuff like that. But for the most part, it was kind of a quiet kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Is there any time for you that was just more than normally uncomfortable, I'll say?
Not really, man. I think because, like, right? I mean, there were some times like, and I think I mentioned this in another podcast, but, you know, people just hating on me, like talking shit in the snowboard park, but it was just, you know, kids that were just hating because I was better than them, you know, which is, it's whatever. I'm not going to pay no attention to it. Again, you know, I'm not going to, I really don't focus on anybody else but myself in that situation. If I'm at the park, I'm there to vibe out my homies and cruise. You can talk all the shit you want. It doesn't matter to me. As soon as you come into my bubble, my space, it's going to be a different ball game. I guarantee you won't say it again. You know what I mean? But nobody, you know what I mean? I never had that situation. But it's funny, though, because you've traveled, too, but there's been some times where you show up to, like, a small-ass mountain town in Italy or some small-ass resort in, or, you know, mountain town in France or you know, Austria.
That's right.
Yeah, Meyerhofen and shit. And that's like, you know, you can tell people, like, what the fuck? You know, this is black dude doing here. But other than that, it's just more they were just kind of surprised to see me there more than they were, like, hating that I was there, you know?
Yep.
Because then it'd be, you know, at the end of the day, I'd be at the bar with the same people drinking beers, raging. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just never was an issue.
Nice. Do you have I mean, how do you feel? I mean, like, all of our friends, you know, well, you know, some of them have called me or texted me, and I'm sure they've called and texted you asking, hey, man, how are you? You know? And I tell them, I'm the same that I was before all this happened. You know?
That's a good answer.
Like this, it's not any different. Well, it's completely different because now I feel like, so in the 50s and all that, when Malcolm X and MLK Jr. did their thing and Rosa Parks, like they had a movement and they moved racial equality, the needle of racial equality, a bit more towards the center. And I feel like since then, it really, I mean, it's moved a little bit, but not much. And then in the past 4 years, it's retreated. So, I feel like that this is maybe, I mean, we could be witnessing some real shit right here, Stevie. You know, I believe it could be some real deal Holyfield kind of revolution.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you feel about them calling, and what's your response with what's happening?
It's kind of a mixed emotion thing because it's like, if I haven't talked to you in a long time and now you reach out to me just to see how I'm doing, it's kind of like, what the fuck? Why the fuck are you reaching out to me just to see how I'm doing? I mean, just because you see all this shit going on, do you feel bad because you might have taken part in this at some point in your life where you've been racist to somebody? You know, why are you reaching out to me? And it's kind of weird. It's like, dude, I'm good, and I love your answer. It's like I'm the same as I fucking was before this happened. You know, I'm doing me. But then again, it's like some of the homies that reach out to me who I haven't talked to in a long time, it's good to hear from because I know their true intentions. You know what I mean? Like, I got a good example. Pat Moore reached out to me and wanted to do a post, but wanted to get my permission to kind of include my name, and we had a good conversation about it. That I respected. It was dope to hear from because I know his true intentions. You know what I mean? He's dope.
Pat Moore is solid as fuck. Sick, bro. He's just the nicest. Sick, like, there couldn't be a better steward for snowboarding right now.
Straight up. 100%. And then, like, this and other people, like Bridges reached out, and like Kevin, like those guys got solid on it. But then there's just some random people who reach out to me. I'm like, dude, thank you for reaching out because I respect everybody, and you know, maybe it's me. And then again, I got to take it from another perspective. Maybe they really want to reach out because they genuinely feel like, holy shit, this is crazy, man. Maybe I want to reach out to my friends, make sure they're doing okay. And that's another way to look at it. So I don't mean that I'm not calling anybody out saying like don't reach out to me because that's not it at all. But sometimes it just kind of feels funny, if you will. You know what I mean? You're just kind of like, well, why are you really reaching out, man? Do you feel bad, or are you really trying to find out what's going on, or why are you reaching out to me just right now? You know?
Yeah, I feel you. So. And that's how I felt as well. But then, like you, I thought about it, and I was like, wait a second. Okay. Like you just said, maybe they've finally seen it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're finally ready. And it's a lot of responsibility for us, Stevie. You know? Like, we can't just do us anymore. I mean, this could be a revolution. And wouldn't you hate it, man? If you could be part of something. Now, I'm not asking you to fucking pick up a gun and go to the Capitol and do some crazy shit, you know, because I'm more of an MLK Jr. activist than a Malcolm X activist, personally. Like, I'm not trying to fight nobody. I don't think that shit works, you know.
Not at all.
If it comes down to the come down, let's go. I'm about it. But I'd rather not. So, like, when these people started texting me, I was like, what the fuck are you like, bro? Come on with that shit. But then I was like, okay, maybe this is them turning. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody can change anybody but themselves. And so then I was like, okay, you know, it's my responsibility to be like, I'm good, man. I'm no different than I was 3 weeks ago, and this is why. You know?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. So,
yeah, for sure. I guess you just kind of, like we're saying, just look at it both ways. And I guess I can just appreciate that they're reaching out, I guess, you know?
Yeah, because it's not what's happening right now. I believe that's going to determine it's what happens in 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 3 generations. You know, that is going to determine what the real intentions are for people now. And it's crazy, but it's, you know.
Yeah. I know. It's like, I want to see how people are going to react. You know what I mean? Are they going to go back to they just don't give a shit ways in about a couple months if this all blows over? Or is this going to be a new change? You know?
Yeah.
We'll see.
And only thing you and I can do is do our part. And then, you know, once you've done your part, it's off you. You did yours.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I think, you know, with all these, I've heard there's so much propaganda and conspiracy shit going on right now that it's tough to know what's real. Like, I've heard crazy shit, like that the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists have been loading the police force over the past several years.
I can see that.
Yeah, I don't know for a fact that it's true, but I'm not saying that it's a lie.
I can see that being 100% true. That's why it's like I saw a video of this little girl walking through a rally today, and like she's walking down the street in like this, like, you know, Nazi shit that's going on with bikers, and they fucking hit her, took the sign, and there's cops standing around, and it's like, dude, if you're sworn in to protect and serve, you need to jump on their ass right away, arrest them, take that little girl and protect her. They did nothing, and that's like, to me, it's like, yeah, you're part of this, or you're just a scared ass bitch because they're gonna beat your ass after. You tell me.
Well, but here's the thing: he shouldn't be scared. He got a pistol, and he sure will pull it out and shoot a black person with the quickness.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what kind of makes you think, like, yeah, maybe that is what they've been doing.
Yeah, and that's, and you know, there was something happened, like 50 cops, and I think I talked to somebody. I think it was Buffalo, New York. I'm not sure. Quit when they fired. And so it's like, bro,
bye.
Yeah, it's like, but my thing is, where are all these races? Are we going to have to deal with a racist militia after? Like, is there going to be like some crazy, like a civil war?
Let's go.
Are we going into civil war?
Let's go.
I'm
down to fight the fight.
Yeah.
I just bought 400 rounds of ammunition this morning. Not kidding. You know what I'm saying? Stockpile, baby. You don't want to bring that shit over here. But I ain't going looking for it either. That's for damn sure.
No. There's no need. So you're good. What are you doing? You're selling software?
I work for a big software company right now, man. I'm stoked. Actually, they gave us today off for Juneteenth. And just chilling, man. Hanging out with the baby. Chilling, man. Chilling. Selling software, living life. Fucking just doing the pro snowboard thing,
Yeah. Let's so with snowboarding after Forum, what did you do, bro? Were you just like done? Did you not pursue it? Were you over it? Did you just not get any love? It's such a weird industry, Yeah,
it is. It was kind of interesting, to be honest. Like after the Forum thing went out, it kind of felt like I felt like the industry was kind of, it didn't get really impacted from what I saw very hard in 2008 and 9. I kind of felt like it trembled for a little bit, and then it really got impacted around 2012, 13. And I just felt like I just kind of saw things kind of tapering off. Like you see all these big corporate sponsors pulling out of snowboarding. You see, teams cutting people left and right. And I kind of saw the writing on the wall anyways. And I'm not that one that's just going to linger around and do something for just the fun of it. I mean, snowboarding's fun, but at some point, as a professional, you do it to make money to support yourself and your family in the future. You know what I mean? And so so after Forum, I kind of felt like most people turned a blind eye. Like Go Candy kind of wrote me off, and fucking we had a contract in place, and they reneged on it. So fuck you guys. I'll tell you right now.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, goodbye.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I'm like, yeah, you're bullshit. Stan Fox, fuck you guys too.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Shots fired.
And then, there's a couple out there, but my homies from Epic, shout out to those dudes. They've always had my back since day one. Love those guys. I'll rock their shit to the day I die. But then it just got weird. And then I ended up riding for Neff, and those guys did what they could for me. And I went to Big Bear, and I wanted to do something different because there was no budget to go film a video part and like a real video part and make it good. You know what I mean? So then I had to, kind of start spending money out of my own pocket. And it got to the point where it's like I can't afford to go and to go travel and film these big real elaborate real parts. But then I moved on. I was like, okay, well, what's the next best thing? And social media was kind of buzzing at that point. You know what I mean? Instagram was getting bigger and bigger, and Facebook and all that shit. So I was like, okay. So I moved to Big Bear and did a couple seasons there, and then I kind of got to the point, man. I was living down in Long Beach, California. I was going to Big Bear filming, and I was just like, you know what? I don't even fucking like this shit no more. And I literally got to the point where I just woke up and I just regretted or, dreaded going snowboarding. I was like, why am I even going there? And I was just like, fuck it, I'm not going anymore. And I just quit.
Yeah.
But I've always admired the athletes that got in and out. You know what I mean? I've always looked at those. They've been my favorite athletes that were like, they're in, they did their thing, and then they were gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. It's a weird sport. It's like interwoven with a culture.
Let me circle back really quick. On the Spoke anything, much love to my dude Aaron Bittner, because he's the team manager now, and he did throw me some headphones. So not you, Bittner, but the dudes that were there previously. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He got it before he hollers at me like, "Well, oh, what? Really? Oh,
Stevie, yeah. Why did you do that? Oh, nah, bro, I didn't mean you, but shit.
Yeah. The dudes that were working the corporate office.
Yeah, I've got a couple other people who that's been the case, but I never really dealt with them, so I don't know. It was past my time. It was after all my shit. In closing, Stevie, do you have any fears, or not fears, but do you have anything that you're worried about moving forward from this point in history?
Good question. I guess the only thing that I fear is that we don't make a change and we'll go back to the same shit. We'll go back to how we've been for the last couple hundred years. But I think that, if we can get this douchebag out of office, I think things are going to change. And, not to go down this rabbit hole then, but briefly, I honestly don't even think President Trump was actually racist. I just think that he would do anything to win at all costs, and he saw that he wasn't going to win without winning. A lot of these predominantly white states where racism runs rampant in there, because that's kind of the card he had to play. You know what I mean? I look at a lot of photos back in the day of Trump hanging out with a lot of black people.
But Russell Simmons was one of his best homies.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I mean by it. It's like, I think the whole thing is just so fake, because it's like they just want to be part of something. Like, he's not part of that. That's just what he had to do to win presidency. And to keep that hope alive, he has to play on that card. And that card is being played out right now, but it started backfire on their asses. You know what I mean? And so, like, all this neo-Nazi shit, it's like, I don't think it's ever gonna go away, but it's gonna become smaller and smaller as the younger generations are awakened to what happened, because it's not really us. It's our kids and how they're seeing life right now and seeing everything going on is what's going to change it. So it might not happen right now, but it's going to evolve to be better, because that mindset will start to be irrelevant. So I guess in closing, we're saying that the only thing I fear is that sometimes somebody comes up to me or feel that I have to protect myself, it's going to get ugly. And I don't like violence, man. I'm not about it, but I just feel like right now, I just think people are they're testy, if you will. You know what I mean? Not saying in my area, or not saying it ever happened, but I just don't like testy people, because you know who's going to get in trouble.
Oh, we are. Every time.
Other than that, I don't really fear anything.
Yeah. And that's my thing, like Civil War. And it's not a fear, it's a concern. So I probably shouldn't have said fear. I apologize for that.
I'm concerned about it.
But it's like these crazy ass people, and yes, I do believe in freedom of speech, but I don't believe in freedom of speech for a group that tried to take over the world and decimate cultures. You don't get freedom. You lost. Like, as far as I'm concerned, they're, prisoners. They lost. They have no rights. Like, people are quick to say, "Oh, prisoners have no rights." They broke the law, so they don't get their freedoms. So what about these people? They shouldn't get their freedoms either, because they're flying the flag of something that tried to take over the world.
Yeah, exactly. That could be the Nazi flag. That could be the Confederate flag. They try to divide the United States. This is what I don't get about it too. On that, it's like people, remember when Colin Kaepernick and people were like, "Oh my God, he's disrespecting the flag," and they made this uproar, and they just try to divert around the real situation, which is coming back to life right now, or is back. But it's like, but they love to respect the Confederate flag when the Confederate flag tried to divide the United States. So isn't that disrespecting the military? Isn't that disrespecting the American flag? Because the American flag was on the other side, the opposing side, which they were fighting.
Yeah.
You fucking retarded.
And I saw this thing on the Facebook or the Instagram about Tim Tebow, who kneeled because of abortion. And
this fucking guy.
And I don't know if it's true. It's some of this stuff is so crazy that I'm seeing that I don't know if it's true. But then I turn the TV on, and Trump is there saying some shit, and I'm watching him say it, and I'm just like, wow. So maybe this other stuff is true, Like, and Tim Tebow got praised for that. Yeah. Kaepernick got ostracized, and
that's how people are, bro. You know what I mean? People love to make money and indulge in the black culture until it comes to defending the black culture.
Well, look at like these girls putting booty implants and lip implants. Like, what are you tanning for 37 hours a day?
Leather back.
You're like, what are you trying to look like? And you're hating at the same. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, man. It's a crazy world out there, but I hope for the best, man. All I can do is just play my part, protect my family, and live, man.
Yeah, and that's it. And just try to be a good example,
I think that's it. Yeah. So
if we all do that, we'll be all right.
We'll be all right anyway.
Yeah.
So what's happening?
Yeah, that's it. Cool. Well, hey, Stevie, it's a pleasure, man. I'm putting this little, I'm going to put a little mini trip together next spring. And I want you there. It's just going to be, 10, 12 people at a cool spot, undisclosed on, public airways. And it'll be fun.
Yeah, let me know, man. I'm planning on snowboarding in the next couple of years, but if you do that, I'll go.
Yeah.
Shit's too expensive to go snowboarding these days.
No,
it
won't cost nothing, bro.
Well, not worried about that. I can afford to go to buy a lift ticket. I was just on another note. So that's another reason I just don't like snowboarding so much anymore, because it's become so corporate. People can't even afford it, because most snowboarders I know, if you're not pro, don't have any money. We bombed to go up to the mountain. You can't even do that no more. It's too expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy.
Well, they're making, like Boreal's doing something. I sent something to Crystal Mountain out here where Boreal's doing $25 lift tickets off for every, one Friday a month or every other Friday. And that's cool. I'm all for people getting their money, but give a little bit back. You know what I'm saying?
At least, dude.
If you're selling out every single day, you can take one day a month and sell tickets for $25, and you're more than covering your costs.
Yeah. Dude, do you remember when we started snowboarding, or at least I'm sure when you were, it was a little cheaper than I went, but you could get a half day ticket for $25.
Oh yeah, it was easy.
You know what I mean? I could scrounge enough money for the week to make that happen. I used to just save my lunch money all week. I used to get $5 a day, and I just save it. Boom.
Yep.
No problem.
And then get your shred on.
Yeah, rip the bus. Bus was free. Go from school. No problem.
Yes.
Easy. Yeah, man.
Well, that ain't it no more.
Yeah, I don't know how people are doing it anymore.
Bro, I went to Vail this winter, and I looked at, thank goodness, the dudes at Fat Tire hooked me up. But, bro, lift tickets were like $200 and something.
Jeez. That's crazy.
$200 and something.
Man, that's crazy.
That's money, bro.
That's Lucci to go for. Well, that's a car payment to go spend 5 solid hours on the snow. 6 hours maybe.
Bro, $200 and something.
That's crazy. You would have told me that first, oh hell no, man! You better take that shit back, bro. I'll go there, buy me a beer. I'm going back home.
Yeah, I'm fit to go somewhere.
It's like having a family of 5, bro.
That's $1,000 a day.
Yep. That's a G right there. No, thank you. I gotta take my kid to Disneyland and listen to Kids Cry all day in line.
Yeah. No, you won't even, for $1,000 a day, bro, you can get that super pass at Disneyland.
Yeah,
you don't gotta wait no more.
Season pass at Disneyland.
Yeah, my daughter goes to college down there, and it's $1,500.
Yeah.
For a season's pass.
Yeah, well, we're in Long Beach. I think it was only like $900 for the local pass or whatever.
Yeah, so, he's probably getting the super pass knowing my child. She's my child.
That VIP exclusive, don't even have to line. Shake Mickey walks you in when you get there type shit.
Oh, yeah. You got one of the Disney characters with you all day. Chilling.
That's funny, man. That's chill. Oh, man.
All right, Stevie. I'm going to let you get back to your family and your work. But it was good talking to you, and I appreciate you, and I love you, brother. Keep your head up.
Yeah, much love, Russ, dude. I'm stoked, man. And, holler at me. Let me know about that trick.
I will for sure. All right,
Doggy.
One.
Right.